Welcome, everybody. I'm Kim.
I'm Nate, and this is Amuse Goose, our very first episode
The first one of all of
ever.
the episodes
Yeah,
ever.
we've never done this before. This is new.
In the whole history of the world, there has never been an Amuse Goose, and now there is.
There is, yeah. We actually secured that handle everywhere, so you'll be able to find us on the same handle everywhere. So that's pretty cool, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So on Instagram,
On
on TikTok,
YouTube.
oh, YouTube, okay, Grinder.
I think we're working on that one. They keep thinking that we have something to do with geese, and we don't actually have anything to do with geese. This is more of just like a play on Amuse Bouche, but
because we
they
like
think,
food,
and we're Canadian, so the goose comes in to there.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a thing.
Mm-hmm. And I can be a little bit mean. Is that part of the Canadian stereotype, do you think?
You being a little bit mean? No one knows who you are.
Oh, okay. No one knows who I am.
This is our first episode.
Oh, right. Okay.
Ever.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so we thought that it would be a fun idea. Just,
She thought. I had to go along with it.
Okay, cool. So I thought that it would be a fun idea, since we are a Canadian podcast, to see if you and I, if we fall into some of the Canadian stereotypes that are out there.
I think we do, but we could dive in and see how many of them are true or how accurate they are. I'm sure people are already trying to listen to our accents right now and be like, yeah, I can totally tell you're Canadian. They like to do that.
They do really enjoy doing that. Especially
our neighbors to the south. They're like, I can totally tell you're Canadian.
You're Canadian.
Yeah. So what's the first one? What's the first? I got a couple here too, but why don't you start it off because you like attention?
Sure.
And we want to make sure we feel that.
So starting out, the very first one that I found on this list from theplanetd.com says, number 1, Canadians say out and about like oot and aboot. Is that something you do, Nate?
Out and about. Out and about. Out and about. I'm trying to say it in like different, just going out and about. It doesn't sound like oot and aboot to me.
It doesn't sound like that to me either, but I know that's something that some of my American friends say about me, that I say out and about. Now I can hear it a little bit more. I can hear it a little bit more when I speak very quickly. If I'm articulating out and about, then I say it the
proper way.
Yeah. Well, no, there is no proper way. Yeah. So I don't find you sound that way, and I might fall into that. What's the first stereotype that you found?
Actually, one that we get a lot here, at least in Ontario. So I'm in Southern Ontario. She's in New Brunswick. I used to live in New Brunswick as well. We grew up together, and that's why we're still friends. Because when you grow up with someone, you have to still be friends with them.
Yes, it
later
is
in
the
life.
law. Especially in Canada, it is the law that if you grew up somewhere, you have to stay friends.
Yeah.
Especially when you do the ultimate betrayal and move to Ontario.
Yeah, I hate it here. It's awful. This is a terrible province. It has a lot of conveniences, but it doesn't really have
the people.
Yeah, like people here are way more rude, and they drive terribly, and just no one has time for you, and everyone thinks that you're out to get them. But back to the stereotypes, I think one thing that we hear a lot, because we do have a lot of American friends, is that it's always cold where we live. Like, it's freezing here in comparison. Like, you still get a lot of snowstorms, and you get some cooler water because you're actually technically more north than I am. Meanwhile, tomorrow and the next day, so Monday and Tuesday, it's going to be 18 degrees Celsius. Monday and Tuesday here. Wow. And like this winter, I think we've only had 2, like maybe 3 snowfalls that we had to like actually shovel for. And they weren't very much at all. Like, it was go out and shovel a little bit and you were done.
We haven't, excuse me, we haven't had very many either. It's been a pretty mild winter. I'm right on the Bay of Fundy, so oftentimes storms will come up come up the coast and hit us pretty hard, but we really, it's been, I don't know, it's almost like been like a fake winter, if you know what I mean. Like we really
Mm-hmm.
haven't had many snowstorms, anything like
Winter.
that. It's yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so it's not cold all the time here. Sure, it gets pretty cold when, when the mood strikes. But it also gets really friggin' hot in the summertime.
Yeah, it's definitely changed. Like growing up, I used to work at a call center back home there, and I had to walk to work. And one morning I walked, or I guess evening, I had to walk to work, and it was -40 with the wind chill. For the Americans that are listening, because you guys are the only ones that actually use Fahrenheit, freedom height, as we call it up here. I don't know what that is, so you're gonna have to Google it. I don't know what -40 would be in Fahrenheit. But I ended up actually getting really bad frostbite on my right ear, and by the time I got to work, my coworker next to me, she had like a little mini freak out. She's like, Nate, something's wrong with your ear. Like you need to go take a look. I'm like, yeah, it feels really hot. She's like, yeah, no, something's wrong. Like it's swollen. So I went into the washroom and I looked in the mirror and it was like a bubble. So I ended up having to go to the hospital. So I went to ER because obviously I'm freaking out now. And I went to the ER and the doctor's like, yeah, you were probably a couple seconds away from me having a different chat with you. We were going to take your ear.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty scary.
For the folks at home, Nate already had big ears.
It's true.
So
they are big.
That would be really scary for her.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly for her.
Yeah. You'll see our faces one day, and then you'll just have to turn the brightness down on Kim's side, just so you don't have to look at her pasty ass.
My smile, my shiny smile. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, smile.
Okay. So my next stereotype is that all Canadians speak French. And we kind of go 50-50 on that, you and I, because I do speak French.
Mm-hmm.
And you do not.
No. And I don't actually even remember much after moving away from New Brunswick, just because New Brunswick is bilingual. So all the signs and are English and French. And then you also have a lot of people that are bilingual there as well. But in Ontario, we have a lot of languages here. It's very diverse with different nationalities and everyone speaking their languages, but I don't remember anything.
I was looking. I was actually looking up the kind of language breakdown in Canada, and English and French obviously are the two main ones. However, in major cities, so you're near a major city, Punjabi is actually probably population wise pretty close to number three. Yeah. Is very close, especially in larger cities. So yes, I speak French. Both sides of my family are French, so I did school in French, and Nate did not.
And it is true what they say. She does look like a frog. So, when they call French people frogs, they're talking about Kim. It's not even like they're talking about anyone else. It's specifically Kim and her family. So that's where that came from, in case you're wondering, like, why do they call French people frogs? It's Kim's family. They're notorious. They look like it. They're cute, like they're cute little frogs and stuff. Like they're all right.
Just slimy, just slimy.
She's super greasy,
hunched over.
Yep, and she eats bugs.
Mm-hmm. All right. Do you have another stereotype for us?
I think we might have got them from the same website. Actually, like all Canadians can skate.
Oh, okay. No, so that's not on my list, but
no.
Can all Canadians skate? Can these two Canadians skate?
Kim actually plays hockey. And she used to like to rub that in my face when we were in junior high, that she could skate. And I could skate. I just couldn't skate like hockey skate, like, because I never got into hockey.
You're on the ice, like you're gliding.
Yeah, I'm cruising around. I'm not falling, but I can't be on skates very long. My feet start to hurt because I'm a big baby. They're not exactly the most comfortable thing to have on your feet. That's for sure.
Mine are.
Yeah, well, it probably cost a fortune.
They did. Mine are heat molded to my
feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine are feet molded.
Yeah, but I do play hockey twice, sometimes 3 times a week.
Yeah, she's on the ice. Yeah. She's there, she's on the ice.
Oh. I'm going to have my team, the Crush. We're called the Crush this year.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we are.
Wait, because you're crushing beers before you get on the ice? Is that why?
That's usually after. We usually have fireball shots before.
Oh.
And then after we do crush the beers. But you want to know where it came from? We have purple jerseys because I bought them from my business.
Okay.
Which is purple, right?
Right.
For grapes. Because I own a wine store. So, and the jerseys are purple. So Purple Crush, like the pop. Get it?
That's great. But there's Orange Crush.
There is Orange Crush, but there's also Purple Crush, which is
so. Do people be like, "Yo, what's up with? Why are you guys called Crush?" You're like, Grape Crush, and they're like, "Well, I don't like Grape Crush. How about Orange Crush?" You change your jerseys. Would you do that for them? Your fans?
No.
Oh,
no.
There you have it. Do not support Crush. They don't support you or your.
Oh my God.
They don't care about you. They just want what they want. So don't show up to their games. Don't clap for them. No. Clap for somebody else. Clap for Orange Crush.
Clap for anyone else. The next item on my list is that Canadians apologize a lot.
That's true.
Yes, it is very true.
I'll say sorry if someone bumps into me. Like, sorry, I was in your way.
Yeah.
Instead of, the hell you think you are? Back up.
Even if
you're in my face.
Even if you almost bump into somebody, you're like, "Oops, sorry."
That happened today. Sorry. We went for a walk, and these morons. They're probably nice people. I don't know. So we were both crossing the street at the same spot, but they went to the right of us. So we've just assumed that they were gonna cross the street and then kind of go to the right. No, they were going to the left of where they went. So they crossed in front of us. And then when we crossed the street, they crossed in front of us again. So we were going that way and kind of trying to guess which way they were going. And then, no.
That doesn't even make sense.
It's just, sorry. Thought you guys were going the other way. Why did I say sorry to them? They're the ones who don't know how to
apologize. But we do.
They don't know how to people.
We always apologize, even when we're not in the wrong.
It's usually Kim's fault. So we let her apologize as much as we can.
I apologize all the time.
Yeah. Okay, so we have all Canadians love maple syrup. I mean, I do.
I also do, but only the real maple syrup, none of the fake stuff.
Not the Aunt Jemima stuff. It's not a favorite of yours. You don't put it in your.
It's not maple
coffee.
Syrup.
Did you put it? Did you ever put maple syrup in your milk growing up?
No, that's disgusting. Why did you do that?
I tried it. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I wanted to see what it was about. I love maple syrup. I want to try it, and I tried it.
Was it good?
It wasn't the worst. I've had worse.
You've had worse things in your mouth?
Yeah, I bet you have too. I'm talking about food, though. I'm not just talking about.
God, food. I mean, I've definitely had worse food in my mouth than that. I guess that's weird. That you were probably a child, right? Or was that last week?
No, but now I'm kind of thinking maybe I should try it again for science. So
you might have to.
I'm
sure because
I do it.
Yeah, because people do put maple syrup in smoothies, to sweeten them. So that, or on cookies, maybe.
Yeah, I like cookies. Yeah, I got some cookies. My wife just gave me some cookies. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chocolate chip cookies and a glass of milk, and a fancy glass too.
Yes, for those of you looking at home, I first thought that was chocolate syrup in the bottom of that glass, but it's just the look of the glass.
it's just glass. I'm gonna take. Oh, they're warm.
Did she make them?
Made them right from It was a collaborative effort. It was her
okay.
and Pillsbury.
Oh, Pillsbury, they're wonderful people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do good things.
They're very supportive in the kitchen.
They are. They help you with a lot of things.
They do.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate their efforts so that my children can have freshly baked cookies.
Oh, like
more
I was
than
surprised.
once a year.
These were on sale, and I didn't go there planning to buy them, but they were on sale, and I'm like, oh, I'll grab that. And I thought it was going to make like, I don't know, 12 cookies. 24 cookies.
Oh, and you have 5 of them right there.
I had 6 last night. So, I think it was 6. I don't know. I just ate them. I didn't even count them.
You should probably dunk them in maple syrup because we love maple syrup as Canadians.
We do.
Now, the next thing I have on my list. So it has to do with free healthcare because we have free healthcare. Woohoo!
Yeah.
So, but the stereotype about our free healthcare apparently is that it's bad.
In what sense?
Well, it just says free healthcare is bad. Let me just check here. And from my perspective, any free healthcare is good.
Yeah.
Right. Because when you had to go to the emergency room for your cotton ear, I mean your that
frostbite.
Frostbite. When you had to go to the emergency room, you didn't have to worry whether or not you could afford to go and be seen. You just
that's why I need to go. And I went, and then I showed my health card. They checked me out. They gave me not much, some Advil and some pointers on how to not lose my ear. And,
put a hat on.
I think they gave me some. It was so long ago. I think they gave me some type of like cream or something like that to put on my ear to help with moisturizing it. Maybe I don't know exactly. I really don't remember. I know I didn't walk out of there empty-handed. There was some type of prescription of some sort
that you didn't have to pay for.
That I didn't have to pay for. Some prescriptions we have to pay for, but usually if you work for a company up here, that's like our health benefits here is like, they cover a good chunk of your prescription medicine. Usually you only pay like the dispensing fee, which depending where you can go can be anywhere from like nothing to, I don't know, $10. I don't get a lot of prescriptions. So, I don't know how crazy that can get, but my company's pretty good.
Yeah. I'm on 3 prescriptions. And I refill them, or I have to pick them up every 3 months. And every 3 months I pay $13 in total.
Yeah, that's like nothing.
3 prescriptions. Yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
So we never, like maybe sometimes you go to the emergency room and you're waiting a couple of hours to be seen, especially if you don't have a life-threatening injury or illness.
That happens down there too, though.
Oh, yeah. But if you go in there and you're having a heart attack, like you're going to be seen before someone who scraped their knee.
Yeah.
Or whatever. You know what I mean?
That's usually why you're waiting, is because someone else has a worse injury than you do. So they're going to move them up the chain, and I'm okay with that.
Oh, absolutely. I don't have to worry that my children won't be able to have medical care because I can't afford it. That's never something that crosses my mind. Doesn't matter if something happens, like, or if I were to get cancer or whatever. We don't have to weigh the option based on cost. Now, for my boob job that I would love to get,
you're paying for that. I ain't paying for that.
Yes.
You can pay for that yourself.
I would have to pay for that, which is fair.
It's cosmetic. Yeah, a lot of things fall under the cosmetic umbrella. Like, you can't just go in there and get like a mole removed unless it's growing and they think it's cancerous. Then
it's
obviously they'll send it off and get it, taken care of. But if it's just something that's cosmetic, they're like, no, you got to go to a dermatologist. You got to pay for that.
You pay for that, which is absolutely fine by me.
One thing, and this is probably controversial, is I was actually talking to my wife about this today, was one thing I think we should do a little bit better is say you were drinking and driving. Okay, just as an example, just to throw something that's easy to go on. And you were found that you, like, without a doubt, you were intoxicated, it was alcohol or, some type of drug or whatever. And, like, you did this yourself and they found out that you were negligent and all this stuff. I think they should be on the hook for that medical bill if they got into an accident and got hurt.
Okay.
Right? Why should we, as, citizens, and this goes for everyone, you want to start curbing people not wearing seatbelts as much or this or that? Wait until they get into an accident and then they're not covered by our hospitals. And it's still not the same as down in the States. Like, I've known some people that have worked here and they're not covered under our health care because they're here on a work visa. Mm-hmm. It's still not as expensive as down in the States. It's not cheap. It's not free, but it's not nearly, as crazy and overpriced as it is down there. They still have to pay. But I've seen bills because of, our shared American friends that we have. My wife, also American. And it's just astronomical how they can charge these bills. But then, you come here and it's more, I guess, affordable to do it here, even without healthcare. But back to the original point, why should we? And again, this is if they were found without a doubt the reason for their own injury, they should have to pay their own medical expenses.
So would you? I see where your thought process is there. Would you also, like, let's say someone who's an alcoholic and develops, say, like, cirrhosis of the liver, or a smoker who develops lung cancer? Do you?
So there,
lump
I
that
guess
in there as well.
I don't know how far you could go. Where's
the
right?
line?
Yeah, because those are, some things that, addiction obviously is something really hard for a lot of people. So that would be a tricky part of it. But something as blatant as, I got hammered and I got into my car and I slammed into a tree and I broke my ribs and fractured my skull and, all that stuff. Maybe they should have to pay a little bit to be like, hey, not only did you lose your license and you're spending some time, in jail or whatever, paying your fines and this stuff, but you're on the hook for your own medical expense because you're putting a strain. Action. Yeah, it's your action. You did this deliberately. Whereas, I don't know, because cancer can come up in a lot of different ways.
And it's not always related to.
Yeah, it's harder to pinpoint. I lost an uncle. Huge smoker, died from cancer. The cancer wasn't the typical type of cancer you get from smoking, but he died from a cancer. I'm not a doctor, and I don't know exactly how that works. Did smoking, make him more susceptible? Probably. But was that, the ultimate reason for him passing away? I don't know. But back on track with the, healthcare is bad. A lot of them, it's like they're just told that, oh yeah, if you go there, they're not going to take care of you, or they're going to do a terrible job, or you're going to have to wait, for hours and hours and hours and get terrible. No, that's not the case. Like, my son had to go for surgery just recently. The doctors are absolutely phenomenal, amazing doctors. They talked through the whole thing. I got to go into the OR room just while they put him under. And, like, just listening to them talk to him, they're very, very skilled, very kind. And they did everything above and beyond what they had to do in order to make sure that, everything went well. But, that was set up through surgery. We had to wait for a little bit because sometimes things don't go according to plan. Even his surgery took longer than expected, right? And that comes up. But, I had to wait 12 hours and then and then they sent me home. Like, that's very, very, very... Like, I don't think I've ever heard of that, like 12 hours, but, waiting for hours and hours on end doesn't happen too often. Usually, if you go in, you're taken care of.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, there are always going to be those types of people who will go to the hospital for anything.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And you would expect maybe those people are going to be waiting a lot longer, because it's not a priority. You go in there when you're triaged into levels, or I don't know, categories or whatever, but triage kind of ranks in terms of need, right? So, but I never have to worry about that. I was able to get my son last week. He has a lung infection. He's a lot better now. But the next day we got into our family doctor. He got, meds, and we were off on our way. Never had to pay for an appointment. Never had to, I think I had to pay $3 for his antibiotics.
That ain't bad.
So
ain't bad.
I can't complain.
Yeah. So we can definitely, if anyone had any questions, we can definitely touch on that later on too. That's why we're here.
Yes.
That's why we're here to talk about healthcare system.
Yes, and to answer all your questions about Canada and yes.
And all
I think
those
that
things.
was pretty much the only ones that I saw on my list. Canadians are on the imperial system. We kind of talked about that. Canadians live in igloos, which I thought was dumb. I don't think anybody believes that anymore.
No.
Did you have any other ones that you thought were kind of interesting or
well,
valid,
I know
maybe?
A lot of people always say, like, if you go, like, I've been told this, that we're super polite. The Canadians, you just expected, outside of the whole, apologizing for no reason, just in general, very well mannered. And again, this is just the perception. I know a lot of a-holes out there that shouldn't just talk to people at all. But I don't know. I think it's just the way we were raised, maybe. Just there's a lot less of us. We're 30 some odd million compared to, neighbors down south. They have like 340 million. I don't know how many are living down there, but a little, just, like 1 or 2, 3 or 100 million more than us. So I don't know. Maybe it's not lost on us, like the importance.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I wonder if there's statistics for politeness per capita. So we
did you like send out a survey and then like
a survey? But I don't really. So I would always, without thinking about it, always hold the door for the person behind me. And if it was a man, I might slam it in his face. Just kidding. No, wow. I would always hold the door. And then if it was someone like an older woman, I would stand aside. I'd hold the door for her to go in ahead of me.
Then trip her with your foot.
Then trip her with my foot.
There it is. Exposed.
And like, I'm raising 2 sons, and I want them to also trip little old women. Just kidding. I'm also, I say, open, you open the door. They open the door for me, which is so sweet. But, raising them to, I've just beaten them senseless so that now they're just like, I'm going.
She's kidding. She loves her kids. She does not.
I do.
Beat her kids in public.
No, not in public, only in the privacy of our own home. When they've been little shits. So I guess it has been kind of, but I think that's family based. I don't think that's necessarily Canadian or wherever.
No. And maybe, I don't know, maybe it's almost like a very light pay it forward, right? Like you open the door for the person behind you. Now they might feel obligated to do that later on. Funny story. My brother, he lives in Toronto. Well, just about. And we were just chatting the one day after he had a long shift, and he started venting, and he said, I held this door open for this woman, and she called me a sexist bastard. She's like, I can get the door myself, you sexist bastard. And he's like, I don't care if you're a man, a woman, whatever. I was holding the door because it's a polite thing to do for the person behind you. I didn't even know who you were until I turned around and you were calling me a sexist bastard. So he went in and he let the door go and it closed on her face.
Good.
I said, good for you, man. I said, that's ridiculous. Yes. Like, he's like one of the nicest people too. Like,
her name must be Karen.
Oh yeah, she probably had that haircut too, right?
She probably did.
She went full Karen on him.
Yeah, that's.
I don't like that. I don't like people with bad manners for the sake of just having them. It's so
me neither.
So easy to be nice to people or to, I don't know, just lend a hand if someone needs it.
Yeah,
be nice to people.
There's no need. Do you know what bothers me more than anything is when you're at a store or you're at a restaurant or something and somebody is being rude to the person that's the checkout person, the waiter, waitress, any staff member. If somebody's being rude unnecessarily to a member of staff, that hurts my soul.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like that either.
That makes me almost feral.
I yelled at a guy once at a McDonald's. There's a McDonald's I used to regular at, and that's where I would get my usually just a coffee to start my shift. Well, my first break of my shift, so close to the start of my shift. And the one day I went in to order a coffee, and this guy was being such a prick. And to this girl, like she was a girl, like I don't even know how old she was. She was young. She looked really young. And I guess the person before her gave him the wrong coffee. And it was like a medium regular versus like a double or something just very simple, right? It was busy. And he's losing it on her. So I stepped in, walked right up to him. And just like, man, it is not her problem. It is not her fault. It's a coffee. All you had to do is be like, hey, you got the wrong coffee. Give me the new one, please. Can you get me a new one? That's it. End of conversation. She wasn't arguing with you. You came in here screaming and yelling, and she wasn't even the girl that served you. So grow up. Grow up. Like it's a coffee.
Yeah. She doesn't get paid enough to deal with that.
No, I don't get paid enough.
You could give me the wrong coffee. I could go to a restaurant where I'm paying $40 for a meal, and you could give me the wrong meal, and I would eat it, and I would say thank you. Like maybe not.
I would speak up. I would speak up.
Be like, oh, sorry, I ordered spaghetti, and this is chicken wings, or whatever. You know, like. But even if something's small, like if I ordered, I don't know, sweet potato fries instead of regular fries or whatever, I would just shut up and eat it. I would just shut up and eat it.
Yeah, especially like if you get it like to go and you're already in your car. It's such a minimal thing. A lot of these restaurants have like surveys and like feedback things that you can do where you can just, hey, you know, it was good, but you gave me the wrong thing or whatever the case might be. I would get more annoyed if it was consistent.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. But everybody makes mistakes. Like,
and it's different staff. You know, if it was the same person every day, day in, day out, that purposely gave me the wrong meal, coffee, whatever, then I'd probably be like, okay, I got to talk to your manager because you're not doing your job right now. You're like, this is something like how you're getting away with it. I don't know if it's just me. But I've never, ever had that happen. So it's never been an issue. There's one restaurant we get food from every now and then. And they screwed up our order probably like, I don't know, 4 out of 5 times. And I just, because we go through like Uber Eats.
Yeah.
So I'll just be like, hey, no, they send us this instead of this, take a picture of everything. And then they just give us a discount.
Yep.
But don't be rude to the people that serve you. Just be nice.
Yeah. They don't get paid enough.
Hundreds of jerks a day.
Oh God. And they're usually young. Like, give them a break. Give them a break.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's pretty much it for the different stereotypes of us Canadians. But if you'd like to know if Kim or I fall into any of the other ones, or we know anyone that might do that, feel free to reach out on our social medias. Where can they find us, Kimberly?
Well, I know where they can't find us. They can't find us on Grindr.
Because of the geese.
So, because of the geese. But if you look up at Amuse Goose Pod on all the things, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, that's where you can find us. All the things. Not Grindr, but everything else, pretty much.
A lot. Yeah. And even Twitch down the road, I think we'll probably do some live things. So that's where you come in, listeners. You got to make this thing go somewhere so we can justify any type of live content. I think YouTube, we're going to try to do video down the road once we kind of have an idea. But for now, just our sweet, sweet voices.
We'll iron out all the video kinks because we don't kink shame around here. So we'll iron them all out.
Wait.
And we'll come to a YouTube screen near you.
Wouldn't ironing the kinks out be kind of shaming them because they're kinked and you're like, no, straighten out.
Oh yeah.
We found out about Kim. She actually is a kink.
Oh no.
She is a kink shamer and she wants to iron you out. So if you're into any kinks.
I won't iron you.
If you're into any kinks, I'm talking. This is my turn. Okay. You've been talking all episode. If you have kinks, just like her crush hockey team, do not support her. Go for Orange Crush, not Grape Crush.
Oh no.
That's it.
Okay, bye everybody. Bye.
Bye.